Well, how do there, chums? As I, Captain Steve, and today, chums, I've got a little bit of speculation for you guys out there in the viewerverse. So people have asked me, Captain Steve, what do you think is going to be appearing in Expedition 3, if Expedition 3 drops? Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to drop. Hopefully this week coming, going by some of the actual Twitch sort of leaks, saying that there might be some more Twitch drops coming soon. So yeah, so I think there will be Twitch drops again for Expedition 3, so that's one of the things that I think could be in there. I'm just going to debrief my frigate fleet while I'm chatting to you guys and send out some more expeditions, craft some fuel and stuff. So here we go. So I hope you're strapped in for the first part of the speculation. So speculation, I do like to join dots based on facts. So Tim Woodley out there has actually approached a member of the community asking if they can use one of their photos. The photo in question is this one, of a fighter ship, a needle nose. It looks quite vicious, doesn't it? And that looks like the right format for the Expedition 3 tile from the main title screen. And surely, if they've chosen a fighter ship, perhaps this update might be more aligned to the Viking and maybe the Mercenaries Guild. Also, in Expedition 2 we have an unused badge, which is Cave Exploration. Well, Cave's got a big overhaul, so I'm thinking perhaps we might have a mission that involves going into caves and picking up something, maybe vortex cubes or albion pearls or something along those sort of lines to encourage us to go into caves. So I'm thinking that may be one of the missions and one of the patches that we may gain in this expedition. Or it might be destroy hazardous flora inside of a cave. We haven't had a mission to do that as yet. So, yeah, there could be a lot of things involving caves that it might entail. We shall see. So yeah, that's kind of a badge that is unused. So I think that could be another dot that's worth joining. Something else is we've got 2 items from the previous expedition that we no longer need, yet they're still there. We've got this little thing, the historiographical dosimeter. There you go, you can pause this and read what it says on the screen there. But basically it's to look into fluxes inside of history. Anomalies or weirdness that are going on, some sort of odd detection within inside of the Gek, Korvax and Viking. So me thinking that this might be combat related and Viking related, perhaps we're going to look into historical stuff to do with the Viking on this outing. So yeah, here we go, there's the other part, the Myth Beacon. An experimental summoning technology. Now this is still available in Quicksilver. Across any iteration, it's not just for the Normandy, so I'm wondering whether we might have to use these to hit up rewards in this next mission. Who knows, but it's interesting, it's intriguing that both of these items are carried over into every single save. Not just limited to the expedition mode, and I'm wondering whether they might become linked into new Quicksilver missions. I'm not 100% sure. Now, previously we had Beachhead. This was the logo for Beachhead originally, showing a giant golden-like freighter, and I'm wondering whether the golden giant-like freighter might become a prize for Expedition 3. And being that it's going to be perhaps Viking and fighter related, hence that image that I showed earlier, joining dots and things, it would make sense for that sort of badge to be a re-emergence and appearance. I'm wondering whether the Normandy badge and the Normandy as a prize and gift was perhaps maybe a last minute thing just because it coincided with the Mass Effect re-release and remake. So yeah, I'm wondering whether it was a collaboration that maybe put a little bit of a halt to a longer expedition. I'm wondering whether they've already got the expedition sitting there and they gave us a smaller one just to unlock the Normandy as a perk for sort of like, you know, a side sort of thing with Mass Effect. Anyhow, so here's the Mercenaries Guild, and you can read about the Mercenaries Guild over here. So I'm wondering whether we might get a few sort of missions that are sort of based around that sort of text. So taking on different jobs and hunting bounties and all sorts of other shenanigans. I'm thinking this might be a little bit more combat related when it comes to expedition missions and quests. Hence why I think the cave badge might be around killing off hazardous flora rather than collecting vortex cubes or albion plants. Just as a guess, you know? Anyway, let's head on into the station because there's one other thing that I think might make an appearance alongside Expedition 3. So this time last year we got Desolation, which brought in the derelict freighters, and I'm wondering whether this Expedition 3 might be accompanied by a small update, similar in size to Desolation, that makes sense of this station core. You can see there it says Flight Path and Landing Overseer. Now I'm wondering whether the actual override just lets us control what class of ship flies in and what ship. So if you're after an exotic, maybe you can select it from the actual schedule or flight paths and bring in the exotic using an override, rather than having to wait around. So it kills off ship hunting in the way of just standing around and playing a random numbers game. Perhaps you can pay to have the ship you want fly in, is kind of what I'm thinking, Jums. I mean, I could be freaking wrong. I mean, to be honest, there's too many landing pads here. And that flight path screen shows far more landing lines than landing pads. So I think maybe the station might even get an overhaul, Chums. Now, I've done a video on station overhaul. I put it up there. Give it a watch, because I think there's a lot more to it than just landing pad number count. Give it a watch. I think you'd be quite surprised. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Put them in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye, goodbye, and goodbye again. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, please hit a like and a subscribe. And I'd like to say a massive, great big thank you to all of my backers over on Patreon and over on YouTube membership. Thanking you, backers. And if you want to support this channel, just don't skip the adverts. That throws revenue down my avenue. Or yeah, just stay with Captain Steve that little bit longer and hit something on this screen. There's merch here now too.